Now on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14, the latest from the trial of a Southwest Missouri murder suspect.
As we enter flu season, vaccines for influenza as well as COVID-19 will be widely available. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with when experts say is the best time to get each shot.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abby. The trial for a Joplin man accused of killing a woman and shooting his estranged wife enters its third day. The third day of the trial was focused on Stephen Thompson's physical well-being at the time he allegedly murdered Carissa Gerard and critically injured his estranged wife, Christina Thompson. The defense argues that Thompson was unable to lift his arm very high because of a severe rotator cuff. A social worker also took the stand to testify about the Thompsons' relationship with each other and their child. You can read more about that and other updates in this story on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Chris Warner joining us now with the first look at the forecast. What an amazingly mild day today, Chris.
It was absolutely amazing and beautiful and gorgeous, but it is going to warm up, but not significantly, at least in terms of heat and humidity. It's not going to be too bad. Looking at where we were, we made it up to 73 today. 50 is where we started the day. As you can see, we're a pinch off normal. We are a bit cooler, but we are far off from our record highs and lows, which is a good thing. Skywatch storm tracker showing us nothing out there whatsoever. We zoom out, take a look at the entire lower 48. Got some showers up in the Pacific Northwest. Cold front that moved through our area, bringing showers and a few severe thunderstorms to the northeast, but nothing like that quite in our area. Through the night, through the morning rather, we're going to start at 49. It's going to be chilly, but warming up quickly. 77 by 4, as you can see, mostly clear skies, and it's going to continue to get warmer. We're going to break down the full forecast here shortly.
Chris, thank you. Last year, flu season was almost non-existent, but now health experts say the flu has already arrived in the area. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with local health experts on how 4 staters can protect themselves from both COVID-19 and the flu, and when to get each vaccine.
As the season changes from summer to fall, we are also about to enter another season, flu season. Last year, flu season was almost non-existent.
Last year's flu season was very, very mild. We had very limited cases, and a lot of that was due to the restrictions that were in place last year to protect people from COVID. No social gatherings, social distancing, masking.
But health experts expect things to look different this year.
But we do really expect a higher number of cases of influenza this year because there are less restrictions.
Which is why these experts say now is the best time to get a flu shot.
I would recommend getting a flu shot by November 1st. Most people try to get it in October. But since that season runs till April 1st, the flu shot will protect you through that time frame. So 1st of October, mid-October is usually the best time to get the flu shot.
For anyone who hasn't gotten their COVID-19 vaccine and also wants to get their flu shot, you can get both at the same time.
There is no time period between the vaccinations that is being recommended. If we administer COVID vaccine and influenza vaccine together, we will be doing in different arms unless there's a medical reason to prevent that.
For hospitals, more flu hospitalizations could mean trouble, which is why wearing masks and practicing social distancing is still recommended. In Joplin and Neosho, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Ascension Via Christi in Pittsburgh has already treated some of the area's first influenza patients. FDA today gave authorization for booster doses of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for senior citizens and others at high risk for the virus. The ruling represents a drastically scaled back version of the Biden administration's sweeping plan to give third doses to nearly all American adults to shore up their protection amid the spread of the highly contagious Delta variant. Pitt State is holding weekly open interviews to fill jobs, and there are a lot of jobs. BSU is collaborating with Southeast Kansas Works for the interviews. Kansas Works helps applicants navigate the process, complete a resume, and answer questions about open jobs. Some of the available positions at Pitt State include teaching, customer service, and custodial services.
24 openings, and that's kind of been our number recently through the summer. we just continue to hire. So we wanted to continue to give that opportunity for the community to come talk to us about our openings.
The university currently has 24 open positions. Anyone interested in an interview for one of the positions can visit Southeast Kansas Works in Pittsburgh from 11 a.m. to noon every Wednesday. City of Sarcoxy, Missouri announced today through a Facebook post that it is shutting down public comments on all of its Facebook pages. The mayor, Don Triplett, said he was making the announcement on behalf of the Board of Aldermen who approved the decision at its September 7th meeting. In the post, Mayor Triplett said the decision was made because of trolls on social media who, quote, spew hate, attack our citizens, or vilify the city most of us are proud to call our hometown.
Not everybody's going to agree with every decision that's made out of our city government, and we're not trying to stop those. We're trying to stop the people that just jump into the middle of those types of conversations and blow it up with defamatory statements, attacking people.
Residents will still be able to send direct messages to elected officials through their Facebook pages. All right, that brings us to tonight's KOAM News Now Insta Poll question. We want to know, how do you think local governments should handle hateful public comments on their social media? Should they allow any comments, block some comments, or block all comments? You can participate in the poll over at KOAMNewsNow.com/vote or through the KOAM News Now mobile app. Results are updated live. We're going to check in on the results a little later in this newscast. Democrats trek to the White House to try and settle their differences and garner the votes to pass President Biden's multi-trillion-dollar spending bills, but they're facing more pressing deadlines to fund the government and raise the debt limit. Republicans are showing no interest in going along and enabling more spending, meaning a shutdown looms at the end of the month. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively is in D.C. now with more.
Democrats huddled inside the White House Wednesday, trying to hash out a way to pass their $3.5 trillion spending bill and the bipartisan $1 trillion infrastructure bill.
This is a messy sausage-making process.
Speaker Nancy Pelosi promised House moderates a vote on infrastructure Monday, but House progressives have threatened to tank it.
They want to make sure that the moderates are on board to vote for the larger package. Again, I think they are.
Even more pressing, the country's looming money woes. Without action by Congress, the federal government could run out of money October 1st and default on its debt just weeks later. Senate Democrats plan to vote on a bill next week the House passed Tuesday that raises the debt ceiling and funds the government through early December.
You want to avoid a default, Republican colleagues? Vote yes. You want to avoid a government shutdown? Vote yes.
If Washington Democrats want to jam through trillions of dollars in reckless spending all by themselves, they can raise the debt limit all by themselves.
The White House points out Congress has raised the debt ceiling 80 times in the last 60 years. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes us time now to honor another four-state hero. Owen Phillips served in the U.S. Army starting back in 1966. Native of Columbus, Kansas, Phillips was stationed in Vietnam. We are proud to thank and honor Owen Phillips. He's tonight's four-state hero. Chris is next with a complete look at the forecast a bit later. A big milestone on the volleyball court for a Riverton High School junior. That story, of course, in sports.
It was an absolutely beautiful day, and that's what we've kind of been blessed with the last couple of days since that cold front pushed on through. You can see some of that beautiful day on the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort time lapse, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. If you watch close enough, there was a cloud that went by in the sky. And we are considerably cooler now than where we have been. So, starting on Monday of last week, 94, we rode this little roller coaster of these warmer temperatures until Monday of this week, where we're at 93. The cold front came through. Unfortunately, some severe storms did come through with that. But behind it, temperatures tanked. 74 yesterday, 73 is where we made it today. 7th and range line looking pretty good right now. As you can see, clear skies. You can't really see, but trust me, it is clear out there. And it says so here on the current conditions. That's a clear skies icon. 56 is where we sit. Light northeast breeze, dew point is down. Humidity, 77%, but not too bad out there. And most of us are seeing about the same. We got a stray 60 here in Independence, a little bit warmer in southeast Kansas, parts of northeast Oklahoma. Rest of us sitting in the about mid-50s at this hour. Across the region, we're looking at the same thing, and I wanted to show you first, cold front that moved through here. There it is over there, and you can see the sharp divide in temperatures out to the east. And then here's the deal. So we've got the wind arrows on here, and you can see where they're starting to shift from the northeast. They were the northwest. Then they were northerly, now they're northeasterly, and that's going to play a role in our temperatures going forward. So quick recap of today, we started in the lower 50s for most of us, made it in the lower 70s for most of us, and here we are, we're dipping down, we're already in the upper 50s, and it's going to get considerably cooler. So let's look into the future as to where we're going to be as the evening heads on. We look into tomorrow morning, check this out, the majority of the area starting the day at 7 a.m. in the mid to upper 40s. So fall-like for sure on this first day of fall. So as we mentioned, clearing skies going to start the day at 49 at 7 a.m. We're going to warm up a wee bit to 73 by noon, but tomorrow is the first day of warmer weather. 77. Check out the southwesterly breeze, and that's because on the backside, we're going to start to see, here's that northerly breeze, and here come the southerly breeze, and that's why it's a little bit warmer here than it is here, and that's going to actually be the trend. Skywatch Storm Tracker, quick look, nothing going on. Here's that system we experienced, some shower thunderstorms off to the east, nothing for us to worry about. Looking at the temperatures going into the future, heading into tomorrow, again, it's going to be considerably warmer, 77. Than what it was today. It's going to stay that way as we head into the weekend. We go into Friday, starting the day a little bit more mild, and as we head into the afternoon Friday, temperatures, look at this, the lower 80s, but hey, we can't complain. It could be worse, and sometimes it is. You can see on the 7-day forecast those warmer temperatures holding on through the weekend and into early next week, 91 by Sunday and Monday. Clear skies though, low humidity. Low dew point means it's not going to be too shabby. It's just going to be warm before our next chance of showers and thunderstorms moves in by the middle of next week.
You can kind of sense fall trying to overpower summer.
She's getting started. She just hasn't, she's not set yet.
We'll see in a little bit. Chris Warner, thank you so much. Coming up, new reports seem to contradict the Biden administration's promise to deny illegal immigrants.
The White House responding to criticism about their handling of migrants arriving at the southern border. I'm Mala Rivera in Washington with the latest details about the administration's response coming up.
Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas back on Capitol Hill today answering questions from lawmakers about his department's response to the crisis at the southern border. An investigation is underway, taking a closer look at some of the tactics being used by Border Patrol agents. It comes as two U.S. officials say some of the migrants are being released into the country. Fox's Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
Thousands of mostly Haitian migrants are camping under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas, waiting to be processed by Customs and Border Protection, despite a warning from Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas earlier this week.
If you come to the United States illegally, you will be returned.
Now, a new report says Haitians are being released on a, quote, very, very large scale. The White House says it's still deporting migrants under Title 42, a Trump-era policy that allows the administration to turn migrants away without giving them a chance to ask for asylum. However, not everyone is being told to leave.
Those individuals who are eligible to stay in the United States through a range of our programs, that they would be allowed to stay.
Those who are not immediately removed are either brought to an ICE facility or released with a notice to appear in court or report to an ICE office. Still, some immigration advocates say the process is confusing.
Right now, it's not clear how they are being processed.
The president is facing harsh criticism for his response to the border.
The wrong signal was sent to our counterparts across the globe that we have an open border.
More than 24 Republican governors are demanding a meeting with the president over the border crisis, saying the migration surge has created an international humanitarian crisis. In Washington, Mala Rivera, Fox News.
Next, President Biden working to ease tensions between the U.S. and France.
President Biden and French President Macron speaking for the first time since the US, UK and Australia signed a monumental security pact, leaving France out of it. I'm Benjamin Hall in London with all the details coming up.
Biden and his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron engaging in talks. This comes as relations between both nations remain cold after the U.S., UK, and Australia AUKUS agreement. Fox News correspondent Benjamin Hall shows us tonight from London.
President Biden speaking by phone Wednesday with French President Emmanuel Macron. It's the first time the two leaders have spoken since the US and UK announced an alliance with Australia to provide the country with nuclear-powered submarines. French officials say they were blindsided after Australia ended its contract with France to build 12 submarines, a deal worth tens of billions of dollars.
But when you have your word, it has some value between allies, between democracies, between partners, and in this case, this word was not respected.
In a joint statement, the White House says Biden and Macron are in the process of conducting in-depth consultations regarding the issue.
In terms of the tone of the call, it was friendly. This is a step in returning to normal in a long, important, abiding relationship that the United States has with France.
Macron also announcing on the call that the French ambassador will return to Washington after he was recalled back to Paris over the disagreement. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson had some choice words for French officials during his recent trip to Washington.
It's time for some of our dearest friends around the world to, prenez un grip about all this, and donnez-moi un break, because this is fundamentally a great step forward for global security.
Meanwhile, some lawmakers are slamming the president for not contacting France prior to agreement with Australia.
We failed the most basic test of diplomacy to keep France, America's oldest ally, informed and pleased.
Biden and Macron will meet in Europe next month to further discuss the issue and try to repair the relationship between the two longtime allies. In London, Benjamin Hall, Fox News.
Coming up, why plastic toys in those McDonald's Happy Meals will soon become a thing of the past. Meals will hopefully make the environment excited thanks to a new pledge from Mickey D's. The Golden Arches is going green, pledging to hand out only sustainable Happy Meal toys worldwide by 2025. The plastic-free toy options could include paper craft toys or hard or plush toys made from either recycled or plant-based materials. McDonald's says this huge scale back of plastic products is equivalent to every resident of Washington, D.C. giving up plastic for an entire year. Definitely a new chapter right there in the long history of McDonald's Happy Meals, right? All right, 30 more minutes. News, weather, and sports coming away. A man in a bear suit is making a trek across the country. It's landed him right here in 4 states. Going to tell you why he's walking.
This little girl was recently brought into the Joplin Humane Society after police in Oronogo were called in to deal with a hoarding situation. You'll learn what you can do to help them find forever homes coming up.
Joplin Humane Society is currently working to rehabilitate 18 dogs that were brought to them after law enforcement responded to a hoarding situation in Oronogo, Missouri. KOAM's Mike Mahoney spoke to shelter and law enforcement officials to learn more.
18 dogs are now in the care of the Joplin Humane Society after the Oronogo Police and Jasper County Sheriff's Office responded to a hoarding situation in Oronogo. Roaming packs of dogs were intimidating neighbors, including Oronogo resident Patty Egan, who lives near the home that was previously packed with pups.
I have an attendant who's also a friend who she hasn't been able to walk my dog, and we can't really safely take my dog out of this yard because they would all attack her at the same time.
The owners of the dogs agreed to give up all but 4 of them to law enforcement, following reports that some of them had bitten neighbors and even an Oronogo officer.
We won't allow the situation where they're constantly roaming the neighborhoods, and the ones that we deemed to be vicious that were going after people are the dogs that we did take. We did make sure that those were ones that they handed over to us.
The 18 dogs consist of 8 adults and 10 puppies, and the Joplin Humane Society is determined to find each one a forever home, even the biters. But before that happens, they'll need help with fleas and malnourishment and a lot of tender loving care so these pups know how to behave properly around people.
So it's just getting them comfortable and getting them socialized and letting them know that humans can provide a positive interaction.
Police say the dog's original owners let the situation get out of control because the dogs weren't fixed. But that won't be an issue going forward since the 4 dogs remaining at the home are all male. In Jasper County, Mike Mahoney, KOAM News.
If If you'd like to help these pups recover by donating to or volunteering with the Joplin Humane Society, we've put a link to their website in this story on KOAMnewsnow.com. The man is walking from LA to New York in a bear suit right there. That trip brought him through Joplin today. He calls himself Bear Son. He's been in the 4 states for a while now. He was previously spotted in northeastern Oklahoma. He's not doing this whole thing just for kicks, though. He's working to raise awareness and donations for a number of organizations, including some that deal with mental health issues.
Getting inspired to create kind of, makes me feel like I wasn't wrong. There's still a lot of people. Humanity's still out there, man. It exists. As dark as times might seem, especially now, people still want to. They still believe there's like a lot of hope to improve.
Bear Son is expected to rest or hibernate for the night in Sarcoxie before continuing on with his journey tomorrow. You can follow along with him on Instagram. His handle is I am Bear Son. Well, fall is officially upon us, and folks with a green thumb are transitioning their gardens for the new season. We spoke with the owner of In the Garden in Pittsburgh to get some fall gardening tips. He says now is the best time to plant trees because the temperatures are cooling down. He also says you want to compost your soil now to prepare it for food later in the fall.
You can use leaves, you can use grass clippings, you can use straw, but you want to use a mixture. You want different stuff in there because you'll have different nutrients by doing that. As these microorganisms and worms feed on this stuff, they break it down so that plants can use it.
John also recommends planting turnips, saying they're an old world way of putting nitrogen back in the soil. Students in Riverton, Kansas gathered to pray for their schools today as part of See You at the Pole 2021, an annual event where students can gather around the flagpole at their school to pray. Riverton students gathered at 7:45 this morning for their prayer.
Get everyone in the community together, and so everyone can, here at school, we can see everyone and represent God and pray. And everyone this morning, as a community, we can get together as Christians and see how the community interacts with each other better ways.
See You at the Polls always takes place on the 4th Wednesday of September. All right, let's take another look at tonight's KOAM News Now Insta Poll question. We asked you, how do you think local governments should handle hateful public comments on their social media? 27% of you say allow any comments. 5% of you say block some comments. 68% of you, the majority of you, saying you should block all comments. Thanks everyone who voted. FAA wants airlines to take it up a notch when it comes to combating unruly passengers. There's been about 4,000 reports of passenger violence against other flyers or airline crew between January and this month alone. FAA met yesterday with trade groups for the major airlines and says it wants to hear back in a week regarding additional steps that could be taken. At least $1 million in fines has been proposed for violent passengers. A bit later, body cam video showing police coming to the rescue of a little darling, a toddler, in quite the tough spot.
Absolutely excellent weather out there the last couple of days across the 4 states, all thanks to a cold front that brought these nicer temperatures to us. You can see the clear skies on the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort time lapse just outside Seneca, Missouri. If you watch closely there, hold on, here it comes. There it goes. There's the one cloud of the day traversing the sky down at Indigo Sky. Handy name, isn't it? That's why we watch the sky. Taking a look at our temperature. So I wanted to recap this real quick. So Monday of last week, we started at 94. Temperatures kind of did this little thing. They stayed pretty warm. By Monday of this week, we started at 93, and then the cold front came through, and look at what it did to these temperatures. 74, 73 today, average high about 91. 7th range line, spider webs, there they are. They're out. It's a nice night to be out. Otherwise, it is clear across the 4 states, and it is so clear that it is actually relatively cool now. And it's going to continue to be that way. 56 was where we're at. Light northeast breeze, humidity dew point, both not doing too bad. Temperatures across the area looking about the same. We're in the lower to mid 50s, a few upper 50s for some of southeast Kansas and northeastern Oklahoma. Otherwise, lower 50s for most of us, and those temperatures are going to continue to dip off. So we're going to get to that. So here's what we've got and what we've been working with. These are the wind arrows coming out of the north. They were out of the northwest, then they were out of the north. Now they're coming out of the northeast, and they're going to continue to shift. And that's why it's going to start to warm up a little bit, but not before it gets cool first. So we started the day, most of us in the upper 40s, lower 50s. We made it up into about the mid 70s across the board. We're sitting at the mid 50s right now. Temperature's going to drop. So let's look into the future now as what those temperatures are going to do. So as we head through the overnight, as I mentioned, it's going to get cooler. Look at these temperatures for all of us. Mid 40s. It's going to be cold. It's going to be very fall-like, though. We're going to start the day chilly, jacket weather, 49 at 7 a.m. And then the temperature is going to get a little bit warmer, and it's going to do so quickly. 73 by noon, 77 by 4, but check this out. Southwesterly breeze. The breeze is going to shift directions. Take a look at this wider view. Here it starts. That northeasterly northern breeze is going away. And behind it is a southerly breeze, and look at the temperatures on the far side where that southerly breeze is going to have more of the day to work with. We're going to be warming up nicely. Skywatch Storm Tracker, nothing to show you right now, nothing to show you for a while. This is what brought us our weather yesterday, now bringing weather to the northeast. Let's get into the future track real quick. We've got just a few more seconds to show you stuff here. Nothing to worry about. The future track is clear. No clouds, no rain, anything like that. We get into tomorrow, though. We're going to start the day much milder than what we did today. And then by the afternoon on Friday, temperatures are going to warm up into the lower 80s, and they are going to get warmer from there as we head into the weekend. Take a look at that. 91 by Sunday, 91 by Monday, 90 on Tuesday. The good news is low humidity, low dew points until we start to get into the middle of next week, and that's when our rain chances increase, and then our temperature chances going down also increase. So it's going to be a little roller coaster before fall makes up her mind and just decides to stick around.
All right, Chris Warner, thank you as always. More and more young girls are joining high school football teams across the nation, many of them even making it onto the starting lineups for their teams. Fox's Mark Dominski is in California, where two Sacramento high schools are celebrating this break in gender norms.
At high schools all across the country, girls aren't just on the varsity roster, they are starters. Locally, Delta High's Kylie Chastain is a starter on the offensive line.
I've always really wanted to play. My freshman year I wasn't allowed to play, so I did cheer.
Ready, break! And at Rio Linda High, Sydney Grant is a linebacker and second string running back.
Honestly, I'm having a blast. I never really thought I was gonna have fun, but I am. Honestly, these boys, to me, they're like my brothers.
Both players are juniors and typically have had to do more than their share to earn respect and a starting spot.
I freed myself by doing everything they do, lifting as much as they do, and just hitting them as hard as they hit me out on the field.
It feels like a special season in general just to be back because of COVID, but she has made it even a more special season to have the first girl to ever suit up and actually play for us and be out there and start.
I just showed them what I could do and showed them my best effort, showed them my motivation, and at the end of the day they learned, well, she's here just like we are, she's working just as hard as we are, and at the end of the day she's trying and we're going to get somewhere with teamwork.
If anything, probably pushes players to do better because she's a competitor.
According to the National Federation of State High Schools Association, since 2008, the number of girls playing varsity football has gone from slightly more than 500 to almost 3,000 nationwide.
I just love the contact. I love hanging out with guys, and just proving myself, proving my own.
Both Kylie and Sydney had never played football before this season, so picking up the X's and O's of the game was another challenge before them.
That's why I say I respect all of them, because at the end of the day, they took the time to teach me what to do. They took the time to help me what I needed to do, and nobody took it easy on me at first. You know, everybody was like, they still don't take it easy on me.
And I don't think either one of them would have it any other way.
Good for them. All right, coming up in sports, big milestone for a Riverton High School junior volleyball player. Also, the Missouri Southern Lions aiming for back-to-back wins in their homecoming matchup with Fort Hays State. Going to hear from the team next.
The Missouri Southern Lions are coming back home this weekend, hosting the Fort Hays State Tigers.
Now, the Lions are coming off their first win of the season, beating Central Oklahoma last Saturday 14-10. Now, Fort Hays State also 1-2, coming off their first win over Lincoln. Now, Saturday is Southern's homecoming game, so they're motivated to make it 2 in a row in front of their home crowd. And right now, really, feeling pretty good, fresh off their first MIAA win under head coach Atiba Bradley.
It's so important for them to get the win just so they understand that their hard work is paying off. Because like I was saying, in athletics, sometimes you work hard, things align, and you'll still lose. And that can be demoralizing, that can be tough. And it's the wins that kind of keep you going. It's understanding the why. Because you do all those things just to have a chance. Because if you don't work hard, if you don't prepare in the summer, you won't even be close.
Riverton High School junior J.C. Thomason is having a great season and a great career for the Rams on the volleyball court. Now, she recently achieved a big career milestone, reaching 1,000 kills, but Thomason is just getting started. Riverton's J.C. Thomason has a love for volleyball.
Volleyball's my everything in a way. I started playing volleyball when I was in the 7th grade. It was the first time I ever touched volleyball. And it was the first year that Coach Lip and everyone got here, and I fell in love with it immediately.
She was a 7th grader. My middle daughter, Kylie, was her middle school coach, and just watching a kid that you could see was super athletic but knew nothing about the game. And just each year, there's just that level. She takes it to another level.
It's my happy place. It's where I love to be. It's where I love to spend my time, and that's where I just want to put all my time and effort into.
As just a junior, Thomason has already surpassed 1,000 kills in her high school career.
It was a great accomplishment. It's been something that I've been working towards since my freshman year, but I couldn't have done it without my teammates, because without a pass, without a set, you can't ever reach that kind of goal. It was exciting. All my teammates were excited for me, and I'm just glad that I had the support from my teammates and coaches that I did.
She can touch 10 feet, so that's playing at a very high level above the net. If we're getting the passes that we need and the setter can get the ball to her that she needs, it's very difficult for anyone to handle her and to get a good block up on her. She's just extremely athletic, and she has a love for the game, and you put the two together, and that's what makes her special.
In addition to posting big numbers, she's also become a leader for a young Riverton roster.
We don't have a senior on the team this year, so it's been very important for her and our junior setter, Morgan Compton, for the two of them to take on that role.
Well, I love my teammates to death. I'm proud of my teammates for putting all their effort and energy out there, because what I expect out of myself, I expect out of them too. And I just try to hold them to a standard, and they hold me to that standard. And so I just want to push my teammates to be the best they can be, but I also love them on and off the court.
Thomason has helped the Rams win 13 straight and 20 of their first 21 games. But she has her eyes on more in her final 2 seasons at Riverton.
We won sub-state last year, of course, and so our goals for this year are to win sub-state again, and so not only to get to the state tournament, but also to get to the Final Four and to make an appearance with those big schools like Smoky Valley and people like that.
Well, Thomason hopes to continue to play in college when she graduates from Riverton. She already has an offer to play at Pittsburgh State. Thomason and the Rams will be back on the floor next Thursday against Chautauqua. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after the break.
If you're a parent, how many times have you said to your child or children, "What were you thinking?" Police in Boulder, Colorado, releasing body cam video of a toddler trapped in a tough spot. She got her head stuck between some railings. And now she and her mom are thanking the officers for pulling her to safety. Fox's Deborah Takahara has more.
This was a day this 3-year-old won't soon forget.
The police come and threw my head out with a big heavy tool.
With her head stuck between the metal railing outside their second-floor apartment, her mom and neighbors tried everything, including olive oil, to free her before calling for help.
I was literally a block or two away. I wanted to see if I could help.
My sergeant who was with me came walking up and had our RAM that we use for knocking doors open, and he had a great idea of putting it perfectly in between the railing.
Upwards. We were able to pry the railing apart just enough to have her take her head out.
That's not all they did. Throughout the ordeal, these Boulder officers offered mom and daughter a peace of mind that everything was going to be okay. Mom admits she was actually starting to panic, but she says these officers' actions actually helped her stay calm.
I'm just really glad that they were able to actually put us at so much ease, and my daughter especially. I mean, they were great with her.
They checked her out, and she told them she was fine.
Do you feel sick?
No.
Making this a day these officers won't forget either.
It just melted my heart. It was a great day.
Up and out.
It felt good to help her.
It just reminds you that what you're doing is the right thing, and it reminds you why you got into the job. And with all the negativity and whatnot, just little calls like that kind of give you that refresher, and it makes you happy for what you do.
There's the "what were you thinking?" There's also the "I will always love you no matter what," right? Next, a new generation included in a new My Little Pony movie. Hasbro's My Little Pony has fostered a global audience since planting its hoof in pop culture nearly 40 years ago. With its message of friendship and inclusion, the Ponyverse welcomes a new group of ponies that celebrate being unique and different in a new Netflix film. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has the story.
Can't we be friends anymore?
Maybe one day.
The Ponyverse expands with a new band of horses teaming up to restore the magic and unity to their world in the new animated film, My Little Pony: A New Generation.
They look like you've never seen them before. I think with the computer animation and the worlds that they've created, it is pure eye candy. It's beautiful.
Each pony has their own unique personality and goal.
Zipstorm is this amazing Pegasi princess. She wants to be labelless and allow herself to create her own definition of self and not fulfill what is expected of her as this princess.
My character, Sunny, our heroine, is, she's not like a cookie cutter gal. Pony. She is an activist and she stands up for what she believes in, even when it's not necessarily the popular opinion, but it's all in the name of inclusiveness and friendship.
I play Izzy Moonbow, who is a unicorn, and she's super open-hearted. She's super welcoming and an inviting presence. She wants to be everyone's friend.
PIP stands for passion and music, and she's brave and unapologetically herself, and she oozes confidence, which I think is so beautiful for young people to see.
Sophia Carson says the ponies are a reflection of today's younger generation.
They're brave, they're bold, they stand firmly for what they believe in, and they want to change the world that they live in because they don't like the division and the hatred that they were raised in. They change it by choosing love.
Thank you.
The film premieres Friday on Netflix. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Going to leave you with video of new capybaras at the Brookfield Zoo in Brookfield, Illinois. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. Are you alive? I don't know. There we go. See you tomorrow.